Previously on Chosen Ones, Avayath attunes to the gift his parents gave him before stopping by the church to pray, the confession booth appearing to open up for him shortly after. He goes in and finds himself confronted by Lemony, who threatens to kill Rue if he makes any changes to the new body he was placed in. Afterwards, Theo approaches Avayath to apologize for thinking less of him early in their friendship due to his tense relationship with Brandy. Avayath accepts the apology and admits he was too quick to judge Brandy after learning he was connected to his arch-nemesis. Brandy, meanwhile, uses his footnotes ability on Lemony, learning that he will never become a Chosen One. The group heads out to reunite with Peter and talk to the Abergrim at the wall, managing to get the Mentor back in one piece. Both the Fiend and the Soul Folk still have the brand on their wrist, and the Abergrim confirms that the deal that they made with the Magic Man was one they made together. After asking if they still plan to go to the capital, the Abergrim demands to go as well, showing off his more humanoid disguise to the party. They ask him about any possible way to trick Lemony into agreeing to go into the moon, and he suggests to use his ego against him to make him think he has the upper hand. With nothing else to currently discuss, the Abergrim turns to leave, hopefully to return as a powerful, albeit unexpected ally for our heroes.
Hold me close till I get up. Time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. And we'll grow in number, fueled by them to see the horizon, turn us to thousands. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go. On we'll go.
Alright, so after you guys have left the walls, with Peter now at your side, after you have saved him, I guess. He kind of was just thrown at you, but it's okay.
I went down and got him.
Yeah. You guys have, I'd say probably a little under a week before you are planning to leave to go to Mirror Depths to try and see Titus, see what's up with that, and then deal with the Blackheart shit that might be in that area. So I forgot to note last time when we were making plans and stuff, you probably want to bring Miffy with you, because that was the whole reason you brought them here. And also, Brandy is using Disguise Self to kind of make himself look normal and not weird mid-transition Asmer Tiefling form. That's mostly for art reasons, but, you know. Currently, the plan is to leave on February 21st of this year. So it is technically 3:43 now.
Oh, 3:43.
Damn, time flies.
So yeah, you guys have some days to kind of prepare before you leave, get anything done at the compound that you want to before you head out. And I think the plan currently is to teleport to Hilfar to save most of the travel time. But Shui can only do that
Twice.
and he hasn't been to Mirror Depths. So I think the plan was to then travel, because it's only 2 days by foot, so with Hestia it'd probably be like a day. And then you could also long rest on your travel.
Fuck yeah.
So we'll say that you guys went to bed after all that.
I visited Arthur first. We don't have to do a scene of that, but I specifically told Arthur that I'd go and see him later the night.
Okay, I'll just note he asks you to come see him again before you guys leave.
Okay. Tell him for sure.
Because I think you wanted to talk to him anyway, like have an actual scene with him. But we can save that.
Sure.
He just notes to you to talk to him again before you fully exit the compound.
So we go to sleep?
Yep.
What if I just, knock something out of the way right now?
You could knock something out of the way.
do that.
Also, I want to note that Shui put the peril. I feel like I said that
Peril?
weird. Yeah, I was like, I feel like I said that wrong.
We're all in peril
He
right
put the
now.
pearl back under his pillow for the night.
Okay, it still feels warm. There is no other change besides that crack and the weird warmth that's coming from it now.
It's not a
Okay.
pearl, it's a fucking egg, dude.
Okay, we got a familiar.
That shit's about to hatch. It's gonna hatch into a tiny snake, watch. I'm guessing it. I'm fucking predicting it right now.
Snake.
Little snake.
Theo freaks out.
Yeah.
It bites Theo immediately.
Oh my god!
Abaddon's in the room. Hello! Spark upgrade. Anytime you see a snake now is traumatic.
Yeah. I think I'm just gonna knock it out of the way now. I'm gonna call up 4. First I'll cast Sending to 4. Just be like,
Hi. We haven't seen each other in a while, but I was wondering if you had time to chat. Just go and take a nap real quick.
that's 25 words. There you go.
Okay.
Could you try contacting me a little closer to morning, please?
Cool.
She gotta fight the big fish all night.
Damn, me too.
Okay. I'm not even sure what you're talking about.
The funny thing is that it made no sense.
Exactly.
It makes sense. It makes sense.
It makes sense. You know, it makes sense. Anyway.
Okay, so you wait till it's a little bit closer to the morning, as she requested, and then you go to sleep and go into the dream. So, when you start to enter the dream, it's nothing really outside of the ordinary. You're on the out on the open ocean. The ship that 4 is on seems a lot less weathered than it has been before. She doesn't have any crew in this dream. It's just her sitting, staring out at the ocean on the deck with her legs over the edge of the boat looking down.
Morning.
Good morning.
How's everything on the boat that you're, captaining?
Same old, unfortunately.
Let's see. Haven't made any progress trying to hunt that white whale of yours.
We've managed to keep her away from the shore for now. There's not much of a shore for her to go to.
I was gonna say, I guess it's not that much a big deal anymore since there's not really anything there now, so. Silver linings?
Doesn't seem like she's interested in leaving this area of the ocean anyway.
Strange. You have any ideas why?
No. She just appeared here one day, and we were out on the sea and spotted her. Tried to take care of it. And then she just kept coming back.
Strange.
Very hostile to any boats that come in this area, though, obviously.
Did you know anything about Leilani before she became that?
I heard stories of her. She was a chosen one, after all.
Right.
I know that she died tragically, but I'm not exactly sure how.
Let's see. I assume through drowning of some kind, given, she's big old whale monster now.
Well, she could turn into a siren. That was an evolution of her spark. And that's why her children were sirens as well. She passed that on to them. One of those rare cases of sparks that could evolve in that sort of way. Create something entirely new.
I see. So, where do I start with this conversation I want to have with you? I want to have several conversations with you right now. Given our brief history.
A what?
When you asked me, well,
Oh. I thought you looked familiar.
Yeah. Howdy. My name's Brandy. Now. It wasn't before.
I only saw you briefly.
Oh, yeah, I assume, given the whole head removal. Did you just happen to be in the area, or were you hired to do that, or were you What was the,
I was given instructions from Estel. I don't normally like working with people, especially royalty, but circumstances sometimes call for exceptions.
I don't suppose you knew anything then about why I was like that, yeah?
I was told you were sick. Clearly you're not anymore.
I was never sick, but yeah, that's fair. That was a whole, interesting lie that they came up with.
I don't dwell much in the gossip and the tales that are not on the sea. When Estel contacted me, that was the first I'd heard of you at all.
With that said, I was just curious is all. How do you feel about the other 9?
I don't know. I assume they're dead at this point, honestly.
And if they weren't?
She kind of pauses, looks over her shoulder at you.
Is that you saying that they aren't?
I mean, not all of them.
Well, of course not all of them. There's definitely one that's still out there, running a kingdom.
Well, yeah. We've got quite a few of them accounted for, save for, I think 2 of them.
Really?
Yeah.
They all made it then?
In some way.
Well, that's surprising considering who they decided to work with.
Yeah. It seems that, that number 1 of yours was, working with the Darkborn Queen, and, when she got the chance, she merged herself with 3 of them.
I had a feeling something like that would happen.
Yeah. And then 9, they're, well, we don't know exactly what's going on with 9 right now. We're actually about to try and find out.
I thought if anyone were to be killed, it would be 9, considering they were the leader of everything. Harder to keep someone like that in check.
Right.
Probably worried about even merging with someone who's got such a big personality.
Well, yeah, apparently 9's not, as far as we know, isn't God. But we think they're in, Mirror Depths, or near there, around there, given what we saw of them.
Interesting.
They're currently in, like, some sort of stasis or something. So we were planning to go and try and, grab them if possible. Given we're trying to amount as much help as we can right now.
She kind of puts her hands on her knees for a second.
Well, good luck with that.
And she starts to get up.
There's quite a big storm coming real soon. Like some world-ending things happening soon.
There's always something that's trying to end the world.
Well, this might do it. We got literal gods of all creation trying to end it.
I've learned working with groups doesn't really work well for me.
You got a crew, don't you?
I guess. They came to me, though, and they choose to stay on the ship. They can leave whenever they want. They're not asking me to go anywhere.
It's fair. You don't necessarily need to help us. Just the extra help would be appreciated. We're just, preparing for the worst right now and trying to gather allies where we can.
I never went against anything that 9 wanted to do. Anything that they asked of me, I would fall in line with what they wanted, because it was a dream of theirs for us to all get together as the 9. That's why they named themselves 9, despite being the first member. And we decided a long time ago that we would be a group that was meant to help others. But above all, we would care about each other. And they seemed very on board with that, until they weren't anymore. I decided not to go along with it, and then they all just left. Of their own accord. It's a little hard for me to have to get up and abandon everything to go save someone who didn't even try to see things from my perspective.
That's fair. I don't blame you. I'm not gonna ask you to do that for us. In fact, we're about to do that ourselves. We're trying to help one of our friends and then try and find 9. Because, the alternative is fighting a war against the capital and, their forces that I'm not exactly sure we can win right now with where we're at.
So what is it that you're trying to ask me to do?
I don't know. It'd feel wrong, first off, if somebody helped out the way that we didn't know that there was potential danger coming real soon. But if you were so willing, it would be appreciated if you could give us a hand once the time comes, whenever that is.
If you do go to the capital and you're trying to take down the king, and you happen to find 9 before then, I would consider it if they would come apologize to me.
I think we can probably arrange that.
You said that there were 2 that you hadn't found.
Yeah.
I'm guessing Shankai and Sumi then?
Yeah, we aren't sure where they are, and we don't exactly know if they're even still around. We're hoping for the best, but if I'm being honest, I'm expecting the worst.
Well, the last place I know that they went to was Mere Depths, so...
Yeah, we're certainly gonna find something there.
They did reach out to me one last time before they went there. They said they were going to apologize to someone.
Did they say who?
No. But they seemed to think that they wouldn't come back.
We're definitely gonna keep an eye out for them. So, hopefully we can get the whole band back together.
You can get the band back together without me.
Well, we'll do our best. Hope for the best on your end. Hope things go well. I'll let you be. I appreciate you hearing me out at the very least.
Of course. I'm sorry for cutting your head off. You seem like you're fine now, so...
It was for the best. I was, a very different person back then.
If you do find 9, they're a little more optimistic. A little too trusting. Not everyone works together well.
I see. Good to know.
Is that all?
Yeah, I think so. I'll get out of your hair. From one elfin sword user to the other, wishing you the best.
You have an elfin sword.
I'm gonna end the dream there.
Oh.
Hee hee hoo hoo. Mystery. Always leave him guessing. So Brandy will end the dream there. I bet your fucking parents were going to apologize to motherfucking Mizuni when they went to Mere Depths.
Yeah, and then she turned him into goop.
Sorry we killed your kid. They're fucking drowned. Your kid's ours now.
So I'd say that you all wake up doing whatever it is you're doing in the morning. Ooh.
Ooh.
Hey, Shayna,
Yes,
you want to learn how to meditate?
I would like to meditate.
Cool.
Brandy and Avayath go to work out together while Shui and Theo can go in.
Oh,
Hell yeah.
I forgot they did it. They had a little workout session early.
Brothers.
They're broing out.
They need to work on Brandy's cardio.
They really do.
They really.
Man crumples like a piece of paper.
Oh, Brandy.
He's beefy, but he don't.
Yeah, he's 0 cardio.
I wake up. I check Pearl.
Still the same.
Okay. All right. Okay. So, yeah, I wake up, I get ready, and then I get the. Morning, Theo.
Good morning, Shui.
So I was wondering if maybe now was a good time to teach you how to meditate.
Oh, yeah, sure. That would probably be good. He had been, rolling his engagement ring between his fingers, basically, just nervously.
Since we have a little time before we move out, thought now would be just the perfect time.
Yeah, it's It should be a nice and, calm day, probably.
Well, if you're ready, we can go ahead and get started.
Sure. How's your pearl?
I checked it when I woke up this morning, but it's still the same. Still feels warm. And the crack didn't get any bigger. Not that I can tell.
That's good, I think. But yeah, let's go.
So, yeah, she walks out. After walking with Theo for a little bit, he clears his throat. Well, first off, Theo, I wanted to apologize to you.
Uh-huh.
About what I said earlier, a couple days ago in the cabin.
What was it? I was kind of,
Having a panic attack?
Well, one of the elders from Moonphone always told me that the way people deal with their emotions is going to be different for each individual soul. When I was trying to help you feel better, I guess I was just being a little insensitive to your problems. At least it felt that way.
Oh, you couldn't have understood just like how I would react.
What you went through, though, spending all that time alone was super different from my own experience. From the time Ibishu took over to when Brandy found me, I knew that time had passed, but it felt like everything happened in an instant.
And how do you feel about it?
Now that I understand Ibishu better, I don't feel so bad about it. Like before. At least that's me. I thought about it a bunch, but I think in that situation, I was the one who was in the wrong, even though I didn't mean to take over his body to begin with.
Yeah, I don't quite... a lot happened. I'm not sure I 100% understand what went on, really, but if you're at peace with it, that's probably good.
I don't want to think of Ibishu as someone bad, because he's not. Anyway, so he's like changed the subject now. The first step of meditation is it's understanding that it's not going to be an instant fix to all your problems. It's kind of like a form of exercise. It's going to take a lot of effort and time to see the results. So when we get started, I want you to think of this as a chance to get to know your own mind better.
So it's our own little form of training.
Right. When I was training with Dashi, with Master Dashi for the first time.
The student has become the master.
He's growing up.
When I trained with Peer Dashi.
With my student
Dashi. I
Dashi.
trained with weakling Dashi.
When I trained with mortal Dashi.
And we did Mortal Kombat. Okay, sorry.
Just really lets the god thing go to his head.
When I trained with Master Dashi for the first time, the first step was always to find a place that felt calm to me. It might be a little hard here, but is there any place that keeps you calm? Like, for me, I always like being around water.
It depends. In the daytime, I think it's the library, I would say.
Then let's go there. It should be nice and quiet too.
Right. Before we get all this set up and everything, you're far wiser than you believe.
He looks at Theo. What do you mean? I mean, well, thank you, but I still have a lot to learn, I think.
You're wiser than I believed at the start. I was going to actually apologize to you, but you beat me to it. I was just doing a lot of thinking lately, and I had a talk with Avayath. Well, I did have a long time to think, and now that everything is settled, I don't believe that I treated you quite fairly back when we knew each other first. I admit sometimes I just humored you, and I just wanted to apologize for that because, well, I was wrong to just do that. Of course, a lot of it is just social anxiety, but you being wiser is... I mean that you're very emotionally intelligent. I think I've said it before. You tend to think inward a lot and think about people deeply. And you've always done that, really. And I respect that. I think I want to be like that more.
Shui smiles at that. He's like, "Aw, thank you, Theo. It's not something I guess I think about."
Well, makes you all the better. You're just naturally so golden-hearted.
He laughs, and puts a hand to his chest. I hope that's true for Ibishu too.
I'm sure it is.
Out of everything I learned, one of those was that elemental gods, well, when they form, a lot of people can get hurt. And that can make them seem like really bad people sometimes. But they're not. Well, at least not all of them at first. Ibishu thinks that he is bad. He's quiet for a bit as he's also thinking. He's considering like his own feelings and stuff. Maybe that's why, what's the word? Subconsciously, I've been trying to do good things to balance out all of the bad things Ibishu thinks he might have done. If that makes sense.
Well, if you're subconsciously good, then you're just good, aren't you?
Yeah. I guess you're right.
Theo smiles. And besides, if I understand correctly, if you've sort of known each other, or at least if Ibishu's known of you your whole life, I'm certain a lot of your goodness and mannerisms and all that has rubbed off.
I hope so. But you know what, Theo? You were saying all of these really nice things about me, but you're pretty wise too. I've always looked up to you ever since I first met you. Even though you say you might not have treated me fairly, I still saw you as a friend.
I'm glad about that. And I'm really honored that you looked up to me.
Master Dashi says that I have a bad habit of putting a lot of pressure on people. But I don't mean to. You don't have to be someone that I look up to all the time, if that makes sense. You can just be you.
That's good, because even at the start, I was always a mess. Yeah, I've been a mess from the beginning, so... I mean, I just feel pressure from everywhere, really. So, nothing really any different, but I don't particularly feel pressure to set a good example for you. At least not now. You seem to be on a great path all on your own.
Well, really, it's because of you guys. You guys are the reason why I was able to get through to Ibishu.
Bonds between all of us, as they grow stronger, they're definitely what keeps all of us up, I think. Especially in a time so hard as this.
He nods. He's like, I agree. Huh. Well, what do you know? It looks like you might have already started getting the basics of meditation down.
What, thinking too much, or?
He laughs. He's like, no, looking inward and trying to understand your emotions and why you might act that way.
Yeah. I think after my little... It wasn't quite an outburst, but, you know. I think because of how things happened with me, the bonds that I felt with you guys. I mean, it was a long time and a lot of unknown. I didn't really know if I'd ever see you all again. Some of the memories weakened, but being with you all again, it's, reminded me how I used to be. 100 days is long, but I could have spent all that time trying to change for the better, you know? So I think I'm trying to do that now.
He nods his head. As they approach the library.
Theo wants to go under the portal thing. The starry...
Oh, yeah, the big, that's pretty much the whole ceiling, so.
So, when I said earlier, a library is quite calming for me during the day. And at night it's watching the stars, so this place is practically perfect.
He smiles and he's like, "That's great, Thea."
So, do we just sit?
He looks around, and he's just like, "Yeah, well, step number 1 after finding a place that's calm to you is to just take a seat." He says, "Any position that feels comfortable to you is fine. For me, I like to just sit on the floor. But for some people like Master Dashi, she prefers a chair."
I thought you were gonna make up some stupid ass pose that she was in. Like,
no, she prefers a chair because of her back. So
she likes standing on one hand upside down. No, like.
I think I'll try sitting on the floor with you, actually. Just to try, I think.
So once Shui takes a seat and gets all settled, he's like, "So like I was saying before, the better you can understand your thoughts and where they're coming from, the less likely it is that you'll continue to be negatively affected by them."
Right, that makes sense.
Well, let's set a time limit then. It's also different for everybody. But in the beginning, you don't want to meditate for too long. It could have the opposite effect.
Definitely thinking too much is a weakness of mine.
So let's maybe start with 5 or 10 minutes. What do you think?
Oh, that's far shorter than I expected. Sure, I guess.
Sometimes I do it a lot longer than that.
But I guess you're a pro at it,
Not a pro, but it does help. The next step, after you figure out how long you want to do it for, you should cast your mind outward before you cast it inward. Just feel your body.
Okay.
Make sure you're in a stable position you can stay in for a while and feel what you're connected to. Almost like you're planting roots.
Okay. Theo gets in like a cross-legged position and hands in his lap.
Once you do that, now you want to feel your breath. So just feel the sensation as you breathe in and out steadily. And then he goes, takes a breath. Steadily in, steadily out.
Right.
Breathing is a big part of meditation.
I admit I can at times breathe a little too fast.
Usually, when you're doing meditation, it's in a place like this, right? Where it's super quiet and you have time to connect to your surroundings and can think about things. But in the heat of the moment, just taking a couple seconds to breathe can really help with any nerves you might have. I'm sure you do it all the time, even though you don't notice it. Like when you're aiming with your arrow.
Yeah. I just kind of zone out and focus on the intended target.
Yeah, like that. But this time, let's make your intended target, keeping your emotions in check? Or something like that.
Right, I mean, no, I definitely need it. I can't keep having a little meltdown every time we do something upsetting. When we went into the moon, I had a pretty big one. So I just have to try not to think about being trapped again, I think. Or no thinking about the worst case scenario.
Shui is nodding his head as he's listening along. Like, he's quiet as he's letting Theo, talk and voice his thoughts. Meditation won't solve all of your problems. It's not going to make you fear being trapped any less, but it might make how it affects you going forward not as impactful. So, inevitably, he says after a while, once you start breathing and you're in a stable position like this, no matter what, your attention is going to start drifting. It's going to go to other places. When you notice that your mind has wandered, whether it takes a couple seconds or a minute or 5, just simply go back to breathing.
Right. My mind has definitely wandered a few times already.
Like I said, breathing is a really, really big part of meditation. You can slow everything down. We're going to say they've been doing this for maybe about 10 minutes or so. Okay. Last meditation tip for the day is to be kind to your mind when it wanders. Okay?
Easier said than done. But, I'll try. Thank you.
Don't judge yourself for what your mind wanders to or the thoughts you find yourself lost in. Just make sure to come back, okay? Remember to breathe, okay?
Right.
He gets up and he's like, you're free to meditate longer if you want, but I'm getting a little hungry.
Hungry, yes. I was actually about to say it myself. 2 hungry boys off to the cooking cabin. Off we go.
Yeah.
You want to do a scene, Jay? You want to bond?
Tell Brandy all about how Theo was like, Theo thought very ill of me until yesterday.
I don't think Avayath would say that.
Theo thought I sucked.
Theo fucking hates me, Brandy, and I don't know what I did.
Theo was glad that I died.
Theo fucking hates me, and I don't know what I did wrong. You know how amazing I am, Brandy.
Avayath's like, I wasn't insecure about me and Theo's relationship until he told me that he used to dislike me, and now I'm really insecure. Like,
I don't know how to feel about him.
And also, Arthur hates me too? This is so unfair.
Arthur fucking hates me. I can see it. I can see it on his face. And no.
he says it's the other Arthur, but that just feels like an excuse.
It definitely feels like the Arthur here. And
Yeah, Theo did tell him that, so...
Yeah.
Or he told him to be careful.
As they're running along, I imagine they've been jogging for a bit, and Brandon's just I feel like something with a number would be a good idea for our name. There are 4 of us, right? the 9, that's a cool name, right? Because there were 9 of them.
That's not a bad start, yeah.
Right, so the 4, I feel the something 4 would be cool, like the Fantastic 4 or something like that. I think that would be a really cool name, something along those lines.
Maybe not fantastic, I don't know why.
That feels copyrighted.
Yeah.
Feels off.
No, that's fair.
Feels legally bound.
No, yeah, that's fair. I don't know. I just like the alliteration, but the something 4 I think would be.
It's fun if it starts with an F, like the Ferocious 4 or something.
Yeah, we're getting somewhere. We'll get there.
So, do we have a game plan? You're usually the one to come up with what to do next.
Oh, am I?
Seems like it usually.
I mean, I think we need to go and get Titus, from the sounds of it. Him being stuck in whatever situation he's in, and judging on where, I feel like that's where 9's got to be in the in Mirror Depths. Plus, that's where part of the Black Heart is. So I don't know. It feels like a lot of things are leading us in that direction, if I had to be honest.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, that is a lot to do, and getting to Titus soon might be better. I don't know what he's going through.
I'm not exactly sure either, but judging by the way he talked about his situation and his family, it sure seemed like they were just kind of using him for his ability, and I can't really, that doesn't sound too right, to be honest.
Yeah, that sounds a bit worrying.
Yeah, I think we gotta go and do that. Plus, I talked to Thor last night, and Thor might be willing to help us out. One, if we can get 9 on our side, and if we can get 9 to apologize to them. Apparently they went through something. And I'm just saying, like, if we're fucking going to war with the capital, having all of the other 9, or the remaining ones, would certainly be fucking helpful.
Yeah, definitely. Isn't 9 underwater or something?
They seem like they were in an underwater cave or something like that.
Then we should probably prepare accordingly. Maybe we should go shopping first for underwater gear. We could go to Hillfar, which is nearby.
Yeah, I was gonna suggest we go to where you guys got your armor, but then I remembered that yeah.
Oh, yes, that wouldn't be an option.
That don't exist anymore, yeah. So, yeah, that wouldn't be a bad idea. Stopping by, seeing if they got something there.
Yeah, let's hope so. I mean, even if they don't, I'm sure they'll have at least potions or something.
Yeah, exactly. And, I mean, Theo and I can swim. Like, we know how to swim. I'm sure we'll be fine. Probably.
Well, it's rather difficult to fight underwater unless you have the gear for it.
I got magic and things. It's fine. I got long range. Theo's got long range.
And we'll need some way of breathing underwater. I don't know if anyone has a spell for that, but we should check for that before we go.
I'm sure it'll be fine. I'm sure we'll find all this stuff. We're the Furious Four, after all. We'll figure this out.
Yeah, I mean, we'll definitely know someone who has some way of doing this.
We're the fucko fours. Here we are.
Yeah, I'm sure somebody here, at the very least, could help us out.
Avayath starts jogging a little faster now that there's a pause in the conversation. Keep up, Brandy.
God damn it.
When he's not looking, Brandy casts Far Step to catch up.
No, just occasionally.
Hello. Thanks for listening to another episode of Chosen Ones. We are now collecting fan-submitted content to post to our TikTok and Tumblr to show off the amazing creations our community has made. If you'd like to be featured in a video or post, please check the Google form at the top of the description. As long as the form is open, we'll be taking submissions. And if you haven't already, make sure to like the episode, leave a comment, and subscribe. A big thanks to our high-tier patrons, MeltiMoon, Travis, Alyx, Solana, EpiAureum, Homunculus, Derelictus, JokerDino, Keilan, Bubby, Zab, Z.Gutz, and Mr. Bakudan. We'll see you soon, fellow Sparks.
He nods his head. As they approach the library.
Where Erm's funeral is being held.
Can you not?
Here
Just
lies
quiet enough.
Buried beneath the library floorboards where he always wanted.
No, I'm pretty sure Erm's on guard duty though, so he's not here. He's watching he's
fucking
upset
dead.
and watching the walls because there are no guards.
Yeah, and he's been killed on the walls.
He's
Jabber
killed
dragged
before he
him away.
dies.
The Abergram was like, hold on. And then like threw a rock really hard and fucking killed him before he left.
Frames Draga.